Craig Smoak, the Fighting Irish.
Yeah, here we are, tail end of the ACC and the Notre Dame schedule. Again, not a preview or prediction, just a glimpse at each team across the country and what they're looking at in terms of their schedule this year. Last year, Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman, obviously a pretty good run, 14-2. Got into the college football playoff, made noise in the playoff, and then got beat by Ohio State there in the national championship game. But what a year it was. And so now they are back, and they are pretty strong, but to what degree, I'll let you be the judge of that. We'll get a pretty good idea, though, right out of the gates of their upcoming schedule, as they are going to open on a Sunday this year, August the 31st, and they will be taking on the Miami Hurricanes right out of the gate. So one of those Sunday week one contests that we can start to put a circle around on the calendar and look forward to on this opening weekend. So that's a pretty big game to open up the season and also have a little fun there on Labor Day. So 6-7-1, the all-time record for Notre Dame on the road against Miami. They're 1-2 at Hard Rock, so they will try and make it 2-2, but one of the tougher matchups on paper to open the year. Then they will move on to the following week after taking on the Canes, and it will be they will move on to the following week, and that's a bye right out of the gates. So they play a game, and then it's a bye. And that's, I think, the first time we've seen outside of like Iowa State and K-State playing in Ireland where you play a game and then you automatically go on a break. Mm-hmm. Maybe one other team's had that unique part to their schedule, but I don't think we've seen that outside of the Ireland game. And we've been through, the Big 12 and almost the entire ACC at this point. So they will have that break and then come back on Saturday, September the 13th, and take on Texas A&M at home. Then the following week, Saturday, September the 20th, it'll be Purdue. And then to close out the month of September on the road against Arkansas. So at Miami, 2-week break or break in action. A&M at home, Purdue at home, and then at Arkansas. So definitely not the easiest of roads there in the first month of the season.
Gotcha. That's pretty dicey with A&M and Miami off the top.
Yeah, and look, Arkansas. Like if you're telling me that Purdue is the easiest team you got to play with Barry Odom coaching there, that's not a great. That's not a great thing. I mean, like for Notre Dame, that's going to be tougher than it probably would have been even in year one. At Arkansas is going to be, I think it's going to be tough. I like Taylon Green. A&M, they beat them last year in College Station. Aggies come in, and look, I mean, Notre Dame's going to be the favorite in this game, and A&M never wins in these non-conference situations like this. But this would be a huge win for A&M. But I think it's all about that Catholics versus Convict week one at Hard Rock in Miami. I love it. I totally agree.
You got some of those old T-shirts?
I personally don't, but I agree with Pete Bavacqua, the AD, when he says, look, if we're going to have this partnership with the ACC, we need to play Miami, Florida State, and Clemson way more. And so I think going forward, they'll play 2 of those 3 teams a year, and I'm here for it.
So after a pretty rugged first month, trips to Miami and to Fayetteville and a couple of home games against P4 competition and A&M and Purdue sandwiched in between, they will hit the second part of their schedule. Following that Arkansas road trip, they will be back at home first week of October and hosting Boise State. So the Broncos rolling into town, sans Ashton Genty. Then the following week, home against NC State. And then home again 3 weeks in a row. They will be at home to start the month of October as they take on rival USC. And then they will get their second and final bye week following that USC stretch. So as tough as the first month was on paper, and this the entire exercise is an on-paper exercise, but as tough as that looks on paper. USC might be pretty good. We don't know. I mean, Boise State's always feisty, but you don't leave South Bend in the month of October. You're there the entire month of October, and you get another bye week. So, that's very favorable, I would think, for the Fighting Irish in this case.
Yeah, and a couple of tough games in there, but again, you're at home that whole time, and have only to this point in the season before your second bye been on the road twice overall. Yeah. So, you've got 2 byes and 2 road games in the first half of the season. This is look, and Notre Dame gets to do this because they're independent, but this is a pretty friendly schedule as far as the travel goes and the comfort of it goes, and then they rattle off 5 in a row or whatever it is to end the year.
Yeah, one of the things that Marcus Freeman is obviously doing better is recruiting better, and he's not letting that narrative that was left by the former coach that we can't get certain type of guys. They're having a great run, and they were really good last year, and their role is not just be okay. Their role is to take it to the next level, and we'll see if they can do that with so far the schedule you've mentioned.
So after that second bye week against USC, they open up the month of November with no more breaks until the postseason. Saturday, November 1st, on the road against Boston College. November the 8th, another Saturday, Navy at home, neutral site. And then November the 15th, on the road against Pittsburgh. November 22nd, at home against Syracuse. And then November 29th, on the road against Stanford. So you've got 1 game and then a break. And then you've got, what is that? 6 games in a row, and then a break, and then 5 games in a row to end this. So a 1-6-5. I am 100% positive we have not seen a schedule broken up that way. So a 1-6-5. But yeah, at BC, Navy, at Pitt, Syracuse at home, at Stanford. So they will get that long cross-country West Coast road trip that most ACC teams probably try to hope they can avoid. But in this case, that's how Notre Dame will close out the season.
They the first half of the schedule is tougher than the back half.
There's a few landmines.
There's a few there, but they also get a bye week after a rivalry game with USC, which is a nice thing. Now. Boston College was decent last year. Navy was decent last year. Pitt was decent. Syracuse decent. Stanford's the only one who wasn't any good, and now they're in this weird transitional period because they fired the coach. But easier on the back half than the front half. This should probably be a playoff team again, especially if you see them make it through that first month or so fairly unscathed.
Paul, when do they start having that integrate into the schedules of teams that want them on their schedule in the ACC? Is that?
I think it's in a couple, it's after the first cycles go through of the expansion.
Okay.
So it'll be, it'll be sorry about your luck, NC State. Boston College might actually get to stay on there because that's been a rivalry for a long time on Notre Dame and BC. But NC State, Pitt, some of those Syracuse that are on their schedule this year. The other schools, Wake Forest, won't get Notre Dame as often because the other schools will be in it. And that's another way to increase the TV value of the ACC is they're going to have better TV ratings games because you've got the 3 bigger brands and Notre Dame involved.
On that schedule, teams that will be ranked at least early, and I don't know if they'll stay there, Miami, A&M, Boise State, USC, and maybe Syracuse, right?
I don't know about Boise State. After losing to Ashton Genty,
yeah.
I mean, when he's 90% of your team last year and you're losing him, possibly.
They might be in that 20 to 25 range. Just because
I don't know. I mean,
they haven't always had Ashton Genty, but he sure was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the runner-up to the Heisman Trophy, so I don't know that they're just going to replace him and still be a top 25 team, given again how much of a piece he was. But I mean, they could be. I haven't even begun to even think about a preseason top 25 at this point.
No, I wasn't trying to go there. I just thought that 4 or 5 teams.
They're a competitive team. So that is a team that you can't just roll over and expect to beat. That's for sure. So I mean, there's some good there's always good names on the Notre Dame schedule. This is the part I don't understand, and so maybe somebody else could fill me in, but it's got Navy listed at neutral site, and yet that game's supposed to be played at Notre Dame Stadium. So I don't know
that.
why
I
that
wonder if
is.
that means they're playing like in Philadelphia.
Well, the Notre Dame site says it's in South Bend.
Well,
the
then
ticket site says it's in South Bend, but ESPN says it's a neutral site. So I don't know. I know they've played elsewhere, but I don't know if I'm just missing something there. But regardless, outside of that, you've got the weird 165 that we talked about, but also notable in terms of, you do have some good teams on there, but you don't also play Clemson. You don't play Georgia Tech. You don't play SMU. That's three of the better teams you would think in the league this year. And then is Florida State a bounce-back team? They don't play them either. Is UNC worth a salt with Belichick, or is everything just weird like it has been already, just weird? I don't know, but that's a team that's at least notable that if Belichick wasn't the coach, I wouldn't be mentioning on it,
No.
probably. So I will mention them in this case because there's at least that interest there for now. But yeah, that's a team they will also not play. So yeah, no Clemson, no Georgia Tech, no FSU, no SMU, no UNC. They do get Miami though. So yeah.
Yeah.